finish off the website, you're now going to populate the form. We're going to create a couple of spaces in there so that we can put the submit and cancel buttons at the end. And we're going to put some space in here. We're going for the fields, which you can see on the right hand side. This is the list of fields that you need to include. Now you can line these up however you want, present them however you want to. I prefer to use tables because it allows things to be lined up. So I'm going to put a table in, and I'm going to just get rid of the borders from that table. So we'll go to Table, Properties, and we'll change the border to 0 pixels. Now the reason I've done this is that I can now start to type in the names of the fields, and I can put the fields on the right hand side. A couple of things to note first of all. Our name is not atomic because a full name such as Paul Long consists of two values, forename and surname. So we should break that up. So we're going to have a forename and we're going to have a surname. When it comes to the telephone number, we can treat that as a text box, as we will do the forename and surname, and the same with the email address. We need to put in the full address of the person as well, and again a full address needs to be split up because it's not atomic on its own. There's a number of different ways of doing this. One of them is to do it like this, so we'll have street address, and then you can have district. I'm just using the tab key here to create new rows, town, county, postcode. Then we need to have the topic of inquiry and a comments box, okay, and then we want to know, do they want to be contacted? So we're going to put, can we, oh it's not about contact, it's add you to the mailing list. So can we add you to our mailing list? Finally, we're going to have the submit and cancel buttons at the bottom. But we're going to start off by putting some of these fields in. We'll do the forename field. So we're going to insert for the form a form field. And we want it to be a text box. And I'm going to name it forename. You don't have to name it because we're not going to have a functional form. But if it's going to make any sense when an email is sent, then it does need naming. Now, in terms of how big we want to make this, we've just got to think about, well, how many characters might go into a forename. So we'll go for about 20 at the moment. We can have a look at that and think, do we think that will be enough? It probably will. I'm also going to make this table a little bit smaller because we don't want it to fill up the whole page. Now I can do exactly the same for surname. I'll show you a different way. We can go to form field, and this time it will be surname, and again a field size of 20. Now I'm going to leave you to do the telephone number, the email and all the address. Think about the different lengths. They're not all going to be 20. Email needs to be a lot longer. Postcode will be a little bit shorter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a drop down list to the topic of inquiry so that we can put these three options in. We do this by choosing a selection list instead of a form field this time. So I go to selection list and we give it a name like we've given other fields a name. So I'm going to call this inquiry topic, and then I can start adding options. So the first option that I'm going to add is general inquiry. Then the next one will be compliment, and then the final one will be complaint. Add that option. We can see that they're all there. Click on OK. That's that done. Now the comments needs to be a free-form text box. So this time I'm going to choose a text area. So I select the text area. Field name is going to be comments. And now I'm going to decide, well, how big do we want this box to be? Well, I'm going to go for about 6 rows, and the column width, well, that's if we look at like the forename was 20, so I'm probably going to go for here about 50. And we'll click on OK, and there we go, it's now created us that comments box. So I've got to make this table a little bit bigger now for everything to fit in. Final thing to do is decide whether we can be added to a mailing list, which is going to be a tick box. So we're going to insert a form field, And the type of form that we're going to go for is a checkbox, and we'll just call it mailing list. And there you go, there is a checkbox. And we'll just finish off the form with the submit and cancel buttons. So if we go to form field, change this to be a submit button, and we should always call it submit. That is what the button will be named, and its value, this is what it will appear, is on the actual button itself, is the word submit. And we'll just put a few spaces before our cancel button, or we can call it a reset button. So we'll go to insert form field, and here we've got a reset button, so we'll call it reset, and click on OK. That is the form completed. All you've got to do now to show evidence is print the 3 pages.